We are heading to Ko Sichang. We might be about to miss the boat, so we gotta rush. Welcome to Ko Sichang, guys. Upon arrival, there were plenty of these tuk-tuk drivers waiting at the port, so we quickly negotiated a price, and within 10 minutes of arriving, we were on our way to our first destination. Now, as beautiful as the temple was, there was something up above, higher up on the mountain, that had caught my eye. So I headed off on my own. Didn't know what I was getting myself into. It turned out to be quite a trek. But when I finally reached the peak, the views I was rewarded with were absolutely breathtaking. Swadikap. Buddha. And thanks to this extremely kind tour guide, I was able to make my way up to the peak of the mountain and to have a very, very memorable experience. Now, I wouldn't recommend this if you've got small children. My wife and baby stayed down at the bottom of the mountain whilst I did this hike. But if you're on your own and you fancy a challenge, you will not be disappointed.
Hot night time.
So this is stop 2 of our little island tour. This is the complete opposite side of the island to the coastal side. So I'm guessing that if you were to just swim in that direction, about 6 days, you're gonna reach somewhere like Hua Hin. We'll probably get eaten by sharks. Now, I'll be honest, guys, at this stage of the day, we were starting to question, is this a great family day out with a small baby? But thankfully, the next stop on our island tour lay all those fears to rest. I'm going to be honest, not in terms of a negative, but just an observation, because this place is beautiful. There's an oceanside park. The water, if you can indeed see, is crystal clear. And I think the only thing that's working against this place is the industry on the horizon. We're on the opposite side of the island, you didn't see it. But I think those mountains in the distance of the mainland, and between there seems to be lots of ports, lots of ships. Adds some character, but it's not quite as beautiful as a clear horizon or just some mountains in the distance. Now, guys, as I overindulge with this long take, I thought it would be a good opportunity to give you some information about this trip. So we departed for this trip from Sriracha, the port at Sriracha, and the ticket cost 60 baht one way, so that's a 120 baht round trip for me and the wife. Obviously the baby was free and we didn't have to book in advance, we just showed up. We got very lucky actually, the boat was about to leave as we arrived, so we just hopped on. Within 5 minutes we were on our way. Now just a quick word of warning, I don't know if this is typical of the waters of this route, but it was a very choppy ride in, and a lot of people on the boat were getting motion sickness. So if you do suffer from that, keep that in mind, maybe pop a pill in your bag. Now in terms of the tuk-tuk that took us around the island, we ended up paying him 500 baht for the day, which I thought was really good value. He wasn't exactly our private driver, he was going off and doing other jobs between dropping us off, but my wife had his phone number, and once we'd finished in a certain place, within 10 to 15 minutes of giving him a call, he was back to pick us up, smile on his face, and he took us off to the next place. He also gave my wife lots of information about the different places and the things we could do there. So I think if you are planning a trip to the island and you've never been there before, that is probably your safest bet. As with anywhere in Thailand, you can also rent bikes, but for us, what we wanted out of the day was to basically just tick the main spots, and this definitely did the trick. Now after we'd finished at this park, guys, it was time for our last stop of the day, which was actually a beach. We didn't even realise there were beaches on the island, so let's check that place out.
We've arrived at the designated final destination for the day, Pang Beach. This is one of those places where you start to ask yourself in a nice way, genuine question, what is a beach? What do you want out of a beach? Because if it's somewhere to sit and watch the sunset, enjoy the sounds of the waves, this is perfect. If it's lots of sand, less built up, less developed, not a ridiculous amount of rocks in the water, so you can actually, you know, walk through the water itself without hurting your feet, this might not be the place for you. Our driver dropped us off. We organised with him to get picked up at 4:20. It's 1:30 now, but I think we're just going to bring that forward to maybe 2 o'clock, because as nice as this looks, it's not a great place to spend time, especially with the baby. The bike, it'd be a great place to stop for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, take some pictures, maybe, you know, endure some pain and walk into the water like these good people have behind me. But it's not for us. So yeah, not disappointed, not angry, just not a place I would say build the day around. If you're planning on coming here, people say, oh, Pang Beach, keep in mind, probably not an entire afternoon's activity, more like an hour tops.
So would I recommend Ko Sichang a day trip, stay overnight? Well, there are different types of people coming to Thailand for different reasons. If you are looking for a paradise island, this probably isn't the spot for you. But for a day trip from Bangkok, from Pattaya, you cannot go wrong. You'll definitely not be disappointed. Thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this one, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing. See you in the next one. Bye bye.